blocks are a really fantastic toy and tool as a way to teach kids about colors, shapes, geometry, different sizes, which are all foundational into different learning and developmental milestones. But today I'm going to introduce an activity that is all about pretend play and a way to really flex their imagination skills.
Here are some of the supplies you will need, which I've linked in the description box below. Some sort of large paper. I use this white roll for our projects, which you can get from the art supply store. Masking tape for securing down your workspace. Markers and crayons, but you could easily use paints as well. And a variety of different blocks. I have these amazing city blocks, but you could easily use other objects around the house, such as Legos or other blocks that you may have.
So we have these really awesome blocks that we love playing with. These are French. And they are a really fantastic tool for a make-believe city. They have all kinds of different little businesses, such as Fleur, so a flower shop. Let's see, what else do we have? They have an épicerie. So they also have corresponding blocks like these. So it's really fantastic because you can sort of stack these up like this and make different little places with them. We love playing with them, don't we, Valentino?
Blue.
Blue, that's right, that's blue.
Blue.
Blue. Are you gonna, oh, well, no more bake shop. I'm gonna stack them up together like this. Let's see. I think these are really fun. We can make a little cafe. Put a little cafe. Put a little roof on the cafe. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna throw them down? That's okay too.
Secure the paper down with some painter's tape. This will enable for everyone to draw on the surface and ensure that the paper doesn't move around once you start building your city. Part of the fun is to think about and to plan what kind of city you want. Ask your kids to think about rivers, streets, green areas that they want to incorporate.
I'm gonna do road. Are you drawing on your tummy?
So does it have access to a river or a lake? Is it a busy city center with loads of streets? Is it a combination of both? If you and the kids have seen movies or been to different places around the world, maybe even use those as a conversation starter of what you would like to plan and build, and use the different references as points of inspiration. For this activity, be the facilitator, but really let your kids lead this one and have kids describe to you what it is that they're thinking and imagining. Although this activity is really great with children about ages 3 and above, who are able to communicate and express some of their ideas and imagination, I have done this activity numerous times with my son, who's a 1.5 years, and even though he can't communicate yet, we use this activity as a way to facilitate in learning different things. So whether it's prompting different colors or getting him involved in coloring some of the sections, asking him to build some of the towers and incorporating some of the characters and the different cars that he uses, it is still a really great activity in terms of interactive play with toddlers. Part of the fun in building a make-believe city is to think about and introduce different storylines. One way to do this is to introduce different characters as part of the make-believe play. We have this little family of wooden characters, but you can easily use other small figurines that you might have around the house, such as Lego people, or even make your own. Encourage conversations with your kids to describe who is the character. What do they do? Do they live in the city, or are they just visiting? What places within the city do the characters go to? The idea here is to build on different make-believe narratives and to allow the kids to really flex their imagination.
So you might have heard about me talking about the emotional intelligence aspect and how it's an important aspect in child development. And this activity and pretend play is a really great way to boost those skills. And here's some of the reasons why pretend play and imagination are important for kids. So the first one is language skills. Because through pretend play, children have to describe about what's happening within the story, especially when they're interacting with others throughout the play. And through imagination, they're utilizing new and different words to set the context of what's happening within the narrative of the story. And therefore, this is a really great activity to help them sort of boost different words that they might use in order to explain about what's going on. So the second skill set is thinking skills. This activity requires a lot of decision making. So whether it's what structures they're going to build, what is going to be within their city, what kind of materials they're going to use, this starts opening them up to start thinking about decision making in that process. But also, as they start interacting with you or other kids that they might be playing with and start introducing some different narratives to their storyline, they also, as they're interacting, might have to solve problems within that narrative of a story. And so this starts developing those thinking skills. So the third skill is social skills. This activity can be done in a group as well as one-on-one with your child. And what it's going to teach them to do is, as you're building the city and you're making all these different decisions, you will be taking turns and collaborating and making maybe decisions together. So the idea is that it's introducing new and different perspective to the child. So it's not just about their idea. They have to learn how to collaborate with others, share different aspects of the activity. And this is also starting to teach them that it's not all about them, it's also about other people. And as you start getting into the narrative area of playing with the characters and creating different storylines of what's going on in your city, which you'll see later in the video, the idea here is as different storylines start coming up for the child to work through, maybe the character's sad, maybe the character's happy, maybe something's happening for the character, this really starts building up those empathetic scenarios for your child to start tapping into and being able to respond and react. And it just builds much more awareness beyond themselves. So the fourth skill is emotional skill, and I've left it for last because I feel like it's the most important. If you're going to be playing together with another child one-on-one or even as a group activity, what this is going to do is not only teach children to collaborate and take turns as you are building and developing this block city, but it's also teaching kids about self-regulation or delay of gratification. And what I mean by that is because they're going to have to take turns and share different materials and toys, it's not just about them. It's the idea that there's others that they have to pay attention to and collaborate with in order to make this activity fun. And I will say, if you are doing a group activity, or even if your child's doing it together with you, and there are kids that don't want to share and they want to make it just all about them, and maybe there's something that happens about somebody wants a particular block or a toy. If this ends up happening, it's totally okay, and it's actually a really great learning moment for the kids. I would definitely introduce the idea to them about have them tell you what are they feeling in the moment. Are they feeling mad? Are they feeling frustrated? And allow the children to communicate to each other about what's going on and how they're feeling about the situation. It's a really great moment for them to learn about the emotions of others. So the fact that it's not just about them, that other people might want the same thing as you, and then see if they can perhaps work it out amongst themselves. Can one child take one particular block, build their structure, and then maybe you take a picture of it so they can have it, and then allow the other child to build the other structure with that block that they might want. See if they can collaborate with themselves after the understanding of each other's emotions and how they're feeling. And maybe it could be a really great learning moment. And last but not least, I think this is the most important aspect, is this activity is all about imagination and creativity. So it is allowing them to put them into this sort of creator seat, where whatever it is that they might be imagining allows them to actually bring it to life through this block. And I love it as a sort of philosophy for the child to start learning how whatever it is that they might imagine, they can create. And it's a really fantastic activity for them to do that, to start building on that muscle. What you got there? Oh, you gonna say hi? Those your books? Those are mommy's books. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I always wanted one of these. What's in here? What's in this book? Book? There's a bunch of words in here. Come in here.